a fresh pie. Save me a slice. That's good. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's... All right, that's good. Okay. All right, okay, all right. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's enough slicing!
Real Madrid are the best football team in the world, and while I don't think that's a very controversial statement, there are some who believe otherwise. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of the club at all. While I'm not a Barcelona fan either, I've always preferred them over their Madrid rivals. Their president is an egotistical garbage can of morality who is actively trying to destroy the sport with the Super League, and the black magic they've put on the Champions League is almost making it boring. I want to see Real Madrid fail, especially in the Champions League, but just because you hate a club does not mean you cannot respect them. Winning what is arguably the most prestigious club competition in the world 15 times is a sporting marvel, and one of the biggest achievements in club football. Do you guys know how genuinely dominant Real Madrid are? When I say they are the best club in the world, don't take that lightly. If you were to compare them to other European clubs, it's a wash. They literally have more than double the amount of UCL trophies than the next closest club. Hell, no other European country has more Champions League titles than Real Madrid. And to compare them with the rest of the world, they still have more than any other club in their respective Champions League competition, with both Auckland City and Al Ahly winning 12 titles in the Oceania and African Champions League respectively. And it's not like they just made a bunch of finals back in the day and then just won half of them. No, they are absolutely dominant when they get to a final, winning 15 of the 18 that they've actually been to. Real Madrid have won their version of the Champions League more than any other club in the world has played in their version of the Champions League. Boca Juniors have played in 12 Copa Libertadores finals, basically the South American version of the Champions League. Real Madrid have won 15. Club America and Cruz Azul have both played in 8 CONCACAF Champions League finals. Real Madrid, again, have won 15. Only 3 clubs have played in the UEFA Champions League final more than 10 times. Real Madrid, well, I'm sure you know what I'm gonna say. The whole point is that they're insane. So how have they done it? How have they cultivated this winning mentality and got an unparalleled amount of Champions League titles? Well, I know there's always talk of the refs are paid off or that the refs helped them out. And look, there's definitely some calls that went their way in the past, especially against Bayern Munich for some reason. But as an Arsenal fan with a history against Bayern, you know, it's fine. It's fine. However, what the refs cannot do is help you win 15 UCL titles. Even if half of them disappear because of questionable calls, they'd still have more than anyone else. You have to consider 2 things, and one of them is the fact that there is a completely different team on the other side of the pitch. In the knockouts of the Champions League this season, which we will talk more about later, Real Madrid only won the XG battle in 1 of those matchups. That means Los Blancos were precise with their finishing and took their chances well, their opponents were wasteful with their opportunities, or it was a combination of both. After all, it's better to be lucky than good. And that leads into the second point, which is the fact that Real Madrid very clearly know how to win these types of games. Winning a knockout tournament is very different from winning a league, although they did that too, but the point still stands. This is why Unai Emery is so unbelievably successful in the Europa League, having won that competition 4 times, but has only gotten top 4 on 4 separate occasions in his managerial career. I'm not counting his 2 years at PSG, like, come on now. No, I'm not saying that he's a bad manager by any means. Just take a look at what he's done with Aston Villa over the past few seasons. However, this does just show that the approach to the Champions League is a hell of a lot different than the approach to the domestic league. Knockout competitions can cause major upsets and wild twists and turns more often than a league competition. So to be consistent in a knockout competition shows off the mentality of the squad. The competition is also consistently at a higher level, with the only large gulf in quality being in the group stage, and even then, that's only going to be for a handful of matches. Every other game will most likely be decided by only a goal or 2. So getting the lead by any means necessary, then being smart and good enough to defend it with some luck along the way, shows their winning mentality. They also have a wonderful combination of young players wanting to prove themselves, players in their prime able to take on the best of the best, and older players with the experience and know-how to understand what it takes to win these types of matches. And let's not forget that this mentality starts from the top, as they're also led by the most successful UEFA Champions League manager of all time, the Everton great himself, Carlo Ancelotti, winning the competition a record 5 times. Now there's also a third thing that Real Madrid have. I lied, I did say there was 2, but there's actually 3. I did lie, I'm sorry. And that third thing is their aura. Now some people may call it aura, others may call it the power of friendship, whatever you want to label it as. Real Madrid have it. It's similar to Bayer Leverkusen's unbeaten run, or how Manchester City always dominate the end of a Premier League season. Real Madrid seem to be inevitable in the Champions League. Now the things I just talked about have led to Real Madrid's dominance. However, practically all of them were on display in nearly every single match that they played in this year's competition. To start their Champions League campaign, Real Madrid show how inevitable they really are, after Bellingham scored a 94th minute winner to secure a deserved victory. Against Napoli, they didn't panic after a 54th minute equalizer and continued to weather the storm until they got their winner in the 78th minute. And against Braga, they did the same thing and defended their 1-goal lead for the last 25 minutes. And lastly, their final 3 matches in the group stage showed how dominant they can be, and that winning is, again, an inevitability, with late winners against Napoli and Union Berlin. Now, making it out of the group stage is not something that Real Madrid celebrate, it's actually more of an expectation. But this is where, in the knockout stages, everything comes together. The Leipzig tie showed the individual quality of the squad, especially with Brahim Diaz in the away leg, and how well they can manage games in the home leg, as Leipzig didn't take their chances while Real Madrid did. Now, could you say that Real Madrid were lucky to win this tie? Yeah, maybe you could. But at the end of the day, they still won, and in this competition, that is all that matters. The City tie showed the quality of most of the squad, scoring banger after banger in the home leg, and they had that extra bit of fortune and experience in the away leg, with their opponent once again missing chances, and Real Madrid eventually winning the shootout. The semi-final tie against Bayern showed off the individual quality of Vinicius, the aura or inevitability of the squad with Joselu's 2 late goals, and of course, getting lucky with the referee's mistake late on. And lastly, in the final against Dortmund, we see a lot of recurring themes from previous matches. Amazing quality throughout the entire squad, a little bit of luck as Dortmund couldn't finish any of their chances, and of course, the inevitability that Real Madrid would win another Champions League title no matter how dire the situation was looking. Now, I'm not exactly sure how Real Madrid always seem to have everything go for them in the Champions League, at least in the past decade. That's not to say that every single thing that's happened to them has been luck, it's just that whatever they've needed, whether that's a late goal, a penalty stop, or a referee mistake, they've gotten it. As we've talked about, winning a tournament competition is different from the league, and more things have to go right for you to win said tournament competition. One mistake in the round of 16, for example, can lead to the club being knocked out of the whole thing. You need everything to go right, from players finishing their rare attacking chances to having a little luck on your side. And Real Madrid have certainly had that this season. Now again, I am in no way a Real Madrid fan. I wanted Dortmund to win the final, and I wanted them to be playing virtually anyone else besides Real Madrid. I can understand wishing failure upon Real Madrid and having an extreme disdain for them. However, unless you are an active rival to Real Madrid, like Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, probably Bayern at this point, honestly, you have to, unfortunately, respect them, even if it is begrudgingly, because the thing is, anyone can win a tournament-style competition, even the Champions League, one time. But to do it consistently, 15 times to be exact, that is football heritage.